Everybody, welcome back to the channel, Review Anything and Everything. And today we're going to get into this Ninjago Dragon Rising 71827 set. This is the Zane's Battle Suit Mech with 92 pieces, and we are going to put this together, me and one of my boys. You got something to say?
And I wish, well, I know that I'm here, but look.
So after we put it together, I'll come back and we're going to review the set. You are a master builder.
Now we need to put this on top, and then that looks basic. Says we have to put it right over here and here. And look, it's there. Look, see?
Yeah,
we
good job.
Got it. It looks like a dragon's head.
Oh man.
Okay, everybody, we're back with the finished build of this. Obviously, you guys know that my son actually put this entire build together and he did a really good job. And I'm glad that he's actually more into Legos now. I tried to get him into it before when he was younger, but his attention span to put it together was a little less. Now, he really enjoyed this and he actually is a big fan of the mechs. So stay tuned for some more reviews from some Ninjago sets that have mechs and some dragons, because now that I know that he's into it, I have went and got him a few more of these. This is actually a birthday present from his grandmother. So this actually, I'll speak on in multiple points of this, between his enjoyment with it along with just it in itself as a product. And I'm going to put the link in the description down below for you guys to purchase this on Amazon. For the price that this goes for, I think you get a lot. And I don't know if a person's into the Ninjago theme, that's one thing. You're going to be a solid collector of getting it all anyway. I'm going to take a look at the box in more detail in a second. I'm sorry. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that now before I jump into all the details with this. And then I'll finish my point. Because I know we didn't get a great look at all this stuff before. Just taking a look at some of the box art and whatnot. I think it's actually pretty cool. And look at that. Zane can hold the big swords as well, but he is a little cyborg robot, so that would make sense. Here you have Zane, you have Wildfire, and you have Drix. Now, with my sons, we've watched a couple of episodes of the Dragons Rising series, but this has been kind of long going, so I only started watching a little bit of it recently. So I don't know a whole lot of what's going on. I don't even know a lot of these characters other than some of them from the original Ninjago, which we watched when my kids were younger, a little bit of. So I have a little bit of context, but not a whole lot. So this right here is Zane's mech, Zane's battle suit mech. And this is one of the more smaller ones, but I think it's kind of cool how you have bigger ones and you have smaller ones, because certain situations may not require such a big mech. And like I said, I don't know fully the context of the, at what point in times would you be using these, what not, in terms of story wise, but it's a very nice, easy build. And for the price, you get a lot. Now, my son likes to refer to this as the power core, which is kind of cool. It reminds you of kind of like an Iron Man type of thing. One thing I will say, and I'll show you this a little bit later, is that when you put Zane inside the seat, it feels like it doesn't sit in there all that well, because this piece right here kind of gets in the way of his hands. And I'll demonstrate that in a few. The build here seems nice. You actually get the movable toe joints. And because his legs are short, you don't notice. You almost view these, what would probably be considered on a bigger mech, the toe joints, as knee joints on this, kind of, because there kind of really isn't knees on this one. Because most of the time the mechs don't really have, they have these kind of preset bends inside the leg that equate to the knees. So it's a little different. But like I said, this one is not too large compared to the figures, and that's kind of cool. But if you need larger, that's a thing as well. Now, jumping into the characters, you have Zane here, who is a cyborg or a robot or whatever the case is. And he's got some printing on the back of his head, indicating that. I never fully understood how he was considered one of the original members, and he's still a robot, but I don't like I said, I don't fully know the context of it all. He has these kind of little shuriken type of, weapons. I don't know if that's a close combat type of weapon or throwing weapon, if it is like a shuriken, but it looks like a shuriken to me. He's got a lot of nice detail on him and a little bit of chrominess on his paint, so that's really cool. These are the swords that go to the mech, even though they can fit in his hand. That looks kind of extreme for them to be in his hand, but obviously so in the back of the box they have that. And these right here actually fit on the mech as with a holding spot. So I think that part is actually really awesome. And I didn't realize this in the beginning, but these are holding spots for that. In theory, you could also hold the swords there, but they're kind of big. But you could have them where they're, say, like that, facing backwards. But yeah, these things fit over there. And we'll jump into Wildfire here. You see her and her nice detailing on her outfit. She does not have two-sided face, but it's fine. And she's got this sword, which I have seen before, but in a different color. This is like a translucent, just clear, sparkly. And this right here is Drix. I guess he's just one of the bad guys, but I don't really know too much, like I said, on it. I know in the previous generations, there were serpent men. I don't know if he's considered anything related to that. He's got spikes on his chest. These are his weapons. They actually look pretty cool. And then he's also got this kind of, the hat looks actually really cool too, but he's also got this kind of armor on. And you could take that out to see more of the decal on him, but that's pretty cool too. Pretty cool figure, even though he completely is outmatched in this situation because he's going against two ninjas and a mech. And now I'm going to pop Zane in here and show you that, like I mentioned before, it actually doesn't fit in there that well. You can't leave his arms straight down because they actually get inside the way of him sitting if they go straight down, because what happens is they sit in that area here. I'm going to see if this might work, maybe, because if you have the hands go straight down, it doesn't work. Maybe that slight angle might make it work. Let's see. No, it doesn't. And in the instructions, what's interesting is they just simply have his hands coming forward, but that really doesn't work either, because the way they show it in the book, let's see, now I gotta get him to sit down. Okay, the way they show it in the book makes it look like his hands go on the side of this piece, but they don't, they can't. So that's the one flaw I would say in that. And you can, even if you lift his hands up, it really doesn't like work that well. Now, see here, this is going, oops, I knocked off his little shuriken. This right here, if you see it, the way it aligns, it goes perfectly in with his feet. So you know that it's as far back as it's supposed to go. The problem just is he can't really have his hands. You can put him down like this, but when he's in his suit as advertised, they look like they're down. So that's a little minor something. Putting his swords in his hand. His swords are pretty cool and they're huge. I actually think that these blades, they sometimes use them for dragon wings with multiple of them, but I've actually never had a Ninjago set before. So you can see that, and he's like just really cool that he can like pose really well. And you can go like that with him. Nice little pose right there. So yes, definitely kid approved. My son loves it. I think this is a really cool set. I think for the price, it is also really good. You get it for like $9 and some change. Really awesome. If you're into the Ninjago line, like I mentioned before, you're going to be a completist. So you're going to want everything. If you just want a nice fun set for your kids, I think kids love things like mechs, ninjas. You really can't go wrong with that because at little kids' age, they love those kind of things. And then you could also expand, because from what I can see and what I recently purchased, Ninjago has a lot of affordable sets with mechs and tiny dragons and this and that. And even though I know it's a very prominent line in the Lego theme where it's doing very well, but at the same time, I do feel that they do have a lot more affordable options for little sets than a lot of the other themes like Star Wars and this and that. So I definitely say it's worth jumping on. And as always, you guys, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.